Auburn Blitz is now on the air, your daily look into what's happening in Auburn athletics. With your host, Andy Graham, Brett Pritchard, Randy Lee, War Eagle.
Hello everybody and welcome into the latest edition of the Auburn Blitz here. Brett Pritchard and Randy Lee here with you for an hour during your lunch hour, and we're glad that you've joined us. Auburn Blitz brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores and Mortgage Pro, the Eric McKinley team. Couldn't ask for better corporate partners here on our program. They do so much for our shows and they do so much for the communities that they serve. And Eric McKinley has been in the business for 20 years at Mortgage Pro, and they've helped so many people save so much money. And Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores, Kirby Scales is a good friend of ours. You'll not find anybody more nice and more kind and more willing to help than when you go into one of these Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores throughout Central Alabama. Don't take our word for it. Go find out for yourself. But when you show up, tell them you saw it here or you heard it here on the Auburn Blitz, because I know they would appreciate that as well. Randy, it's our turn to kind of take a stab at this thing. There was a poll that came out on AL.com today that said if Auburn, it was an Auburn fan poll, if Auburn were to beat Georgia and Alabama, does that still make a good year for you, or is the season over for you as far as you're concerned right now? And right now it's 89%. Yes, we want to beat Georgia and Alabama and go 10-2. 11% right now, and the poll just started saying, no, season's over for me. Tired of tired of falling short on expectations. And I said it yesterday. I think the fan base is split. There's some fans out there, and both sides are right. I think one side thinks that, hey, 8-4, we've had a tough schedule. There's a freshman quarterback out there. Everybody needs to chill out. The other side goes, you know what? This is the same. No matter who the quarterback is, no matter what the schedule is, no matter what the deal is, Auburn's an 8-4 team. And so they've kind of resided themselves in that, and they don't like it. So I asked Andy what side he was on yesterday. He said, I'm on the side that I'm tired of it being 8-4. I really am. And I had several people text and call and put in Facebook messages yesterday and said Auburn shouldn't be 8-4. They got way too much talent, and they got too good of facilities, and they got too good of stuff down there to be 8-4. They're not an 8-4 team. So we can debate this all day long, but I'll start with you and just get your opening thoughts on it.
Well, first off, the question of whether we should be 8-4 or not, that's a loaded question. Scott Hardy did a program with me a couple of months back before the season started, and I thought that he went on a rant, and I thought it was a very good rant. When you lose the 4 games to someone that's ranked ahead of you before the season started and normally finishes above you in recruiting, then, yeah, you can want more, but you better get yourself above them in recruiting, and you better get yourself above them in rankings consistently. I'm not giving us a pass, but that's a good point that he makes, so I just want to throw it out there at the beginning before we get started. Now, here's where I am on Gus Malzahn and this Auburn program at this moment. At some point, we got to decide if we're happy with what we're going to get offensively, because this didn't just start. And there is no way you're going to get me to sit up here on this program and throw any darts whatsoever at Bo Nix. I think at some point you've got to go, the development of quarterback at Auburn is not in a good position. And either you go out and hire someone that can develop one, or you keep getting what we're getting right now. This is happening too much. I've seen enough of Bo Nix. I know enough about his background. I see the pedigree that he brings in as far as knowledge base and how many people wanted him. There's no way I'm going to stand up here and throw the blame at him. I'm going to throw the blame at the passing game. I'm going to throw the blame at the concept. And I said that before the season. The best version of a Gus Malzahn offense is a mobile running quarterback that can run the football for 800 to 1,000 yards per year, which means he's going to rush the football 12 to 15 times, which means we're going to give ourselves a pretty good chance to get that 35-plus rushes that Stat Tiger that you just read off to me brings a win to Auburn. Now, if your quarterback's not going to ever run it, I think Bo Nix in the right system could go up there Saturdays, wherever it is, in Oklahoma, wherever it may be. If he's got a very good passing game at LSU, may not be this year, but I think he'd be Joe Burrow. at some point. First-round pick, but he better have a passing system that gets you to that point. I have no confidence whatsoever that Gus Malzahn has that in him. I do have confidence that he can have a mobile quarterback and play that type of system that we saw in 13 and 14, but for whatever reason, I don't know what our identity is, Brett.
The thing that's concerning, I think, is a good place to start and stay on is the development of quarterbacks. And we laughed tongue-in-cheek before the season started, just kind of kidding, because we all felt, man, Bo Nix is going to be really good. That we don't think Gus Malzahn can even ruin Bo Nix. Man, we're starting to see the ruination of another guy right here in front of us. I mean, this is another guy that you're sticking out there in bad situations. You're calling bad plays. The execution's not there. The offensive line's not helping him either. Okay, let's kind of add all. If we're going to give blame out, we need to give blame to everybody that deserves it. The offensive line, there's a reason 5 seniors are up there, because they're not very good. I mean, continuing to make mental mistakes, doing the things they do. Obviously, the run game on the road isn't very good, so they have to regress to a passing game, which the pass patterns, the utilization of our talent, and the receivers makes you scratch your head, makes you look like a guy that's just out there grasping for straws. Maybe this will work. Maybe this will work. There's no rhythm to anything. There's no rhyme or reason for why Anthony Schwartz touches the ball a couple times and then goes away for 2.5 quarters. I don't have an answer for it. Looks like a guy that's trying to grasp at straws. So, once again, people want to just pound on Bo Nix, like you said, and blame whoever it is back there snapping the football. Last year it was Jarrett Stidham. A couple years ago it was Sean White. You know, a few years back it was Jeremy Johnson. I mean, we were all excited about Jeremy Johnson, and we don't know really what all happened. But this has become a pattern, man. You know, now it's just whoever else's turn it is to step back there and take the darts, like you said. I hate it for Bo Nix. I don't know why Joey Gatewood doesn't get a shot. If Bo Nix is struggling, why wouldn't you try somebody? It doesn't mean Bo Nix is going to go to the bench for the rest of his life. It means that he might need to check a little bit and go in and take a deep breath and say, look, I'm a freshman. And look, I know that you can swing it the other way and say, man, Auburn went on the road and they lost to Florida, with the best football team Florida's had in 10 years, and they've lost to LSU, who's number 2, now number 1 in the country. So you got those Auburn fans out there that utilize that, but man, it's how you lose. It's like Andy said. If you're in a shootout and lost a game because you were back and forth, and they just beat you, that's one thing. But because your offense is in a shell for 3 quarters, that's not acceptable.
Well, it's not acceptable when your defense plays the way this one is. Yes, we gave up over 500 yards, but we only gave up 23 points on the road to a team averaging over 50.
No kidding.
Made some key turnovers, had a fourth down stop there at the goal line that was masterful.
Unbelievable.
It really was. And you look over at Gus Malzahn and you see the excitement on him and the coaching, and they should be. Kevin Steele is doing a tremendous job. So look, if you want to listen into a program that's just going to fill you full of roses, then you're on the wrong one. This is the time to turn it, because I'm not going to sit up here as an Auburn fan and doing what I'm expected to do, which is give a take. Look, I'm a fan. I'm a water cooler talker. I never come on a program like this and go, I know a lot more than Joe Public out there. But I will pass along what Joe Public's thinking. And what Joe Public's thinking right now is Gus Malzahn did a tremendous job in bringing in Kevin Steele. And that guy is coaching his rear end off. And his team is playing his rear end off. And Gus Malzahn leads the offense. And we threw darts at one offensive coordinator after another. And Gus Malzahn, I guess we try to forget what happened in 2015, which sent us down the road where we were looking for an offensive coordinator.
Seeing it again.
But we're kind of back to this. So, going back to your opening question.
Where's Chip Lindsey to take the heat right now?
Well, going back to your Rhett Lashley, keep going down the list, but going back to your opening question, are we happy with what we're getting? I would have never believed in a million years in 2014 that we would be sitting here with Gus Malzahn deciding to be the offensive coordinator, and we'd be struggling over since 2015. I'll run down some numbers here shortly, but since 2015, we have lost 19 football games against Power 5 conference foes, and when you look at the total yardage that we are getting in those games, it's abysmal. Never would have believed it. Yet our defensive side of the ball is one of the best in the conference, if not one of the best in the country. Who in the
And in
world?
13
Who
and
out there
14.
saw that coming?
And
Brett?
in 13 and 14, it was right the opposite. You couldn't stop anybody, and you were scoring 40-something points a game.
10-2.
I mean, it's the same thing. I want to mention one comment here. G said it appears Schwartz only knows 35 plays of the playbook. I ain't buying that
That's
anymore.
the most
Look,
ridiculous.
Look, all this stuff, we try to formulate in our mind that a player, well, he ain't playing because he don't know the plays, or he don't know this, or he don't know. I ain't buying. If he's that bad, he don't need to play football.
And I don't
believe
that at all.
I don't either, and I'm not just bashing G. I just think G's bringing up a point that a lot of people bring up to try to rationale why somebody don't play that's a good player. Why Anthony Schwartz don't get the ball? I don't know, man. I don't know why Anthony Schwartz don't play more than he does. It is asinine to me that you don't throw the ball deep to him 4 or 5 times.
And the guy that made that comment was an outstanding football player that played both sides of the ball.
So
and
G
gets
knows.
it. He knows. And the idea that it takes someone on college that has as many hours and as many great coaches around him that you're having to dummy down the system because they don't know what to do is the craziest, most ridiculous excuse that I could ever imagine. And we have used that excuse offensively how many times?
Oh,
well, we just have to keep the playbook down to just a basic amount because we got a new guy in there. But we haven't heard that about Bo Nix. At least we haven't had to listen to that big.
Yeah, and I think G was probably
sale.
tongue in cheek on that
Yeah.
a little bit too. But there are people that really legit say that. They say that and try to ration out. Well, he must not be playing because he's in the doghouse, or he must not be playing because he don't know the plays. You know, we were in a text thread on Saturday, and I know we got to go to break, but people were saying, well, Anthony Schwartz obviously was suspended for the first drive. For what? Ain't nobody heard anything. But anyway, just getting started. Stay tuned. More of the Sports Blitz, Auburn Blitz, right after this.
The Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales in Opelika has the largest selection of prestige cars, trucks, and SUVs in Central and East Alabama, all with financing available, little to no money down, and extended warranties. Get pre-qualified in under 2 minutes, online or from your mobile device at GillsPrestigeOnline.com. It's the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Lake Martin Building Supply, located on Dayville Road in Alexander City, owners Tiffany and Michael Huff believe in constantly improving their inventory for you. From deer corn, feeders to Valspar paint, the top quality lumber, and RV section, Lake Martin Building Supply welcomes each customer that comes through the door with a warm hello and a pleasant goodbye, and a come back to see us real soon. That's Lake Martin Building Supply, Dayville Road. Call today, 256-234-5500.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Alex City Marines, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, and the Yerkes invite you by to see what they have available today. The 2020 Manitous and Landaus are in, and boy, are they gorgeous. Also, some great deals on demos. Take advantage of that while they last. Alex City Marine also is doing shrink wrapping, storage. Get in line now. In fact, call this number, 256-215-FISH. Alex City Marine, Alex City.
Hidley Towers is an affordable senior citizen community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East, where spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living, where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more about Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552, where your family at Hidley Towers. That's 256-329-0552.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Score big with these deals at Bice Motors in Alex City. Up to 27% off on select 2019 Ram trucks. During Jeep Adventure Days, lease a new 2019 Jeep Compass Latitude for $209 a month. Save over $8,000 on a new 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude.
We guarantee the lowest price, so we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Make your scoring drive to Bice Motors in Alex City.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz, brought to you by Russell Do It Center and Building Supply Stores and Mortgage Pro there at McKinley team. Randy, you're going to run down some stuff, but let me give a caveat in here before that Andy wrote in here. He said Auburn's putting up big numbers against bad teams and struggling against good teams the last 5 years, and you're going to run some of this down. But there is one extra element to add into that. They're putting up bad, they're struggling against good teams on the road. When you run these numbers down and you run these games down, a majority of the struggles for Gus Malzahn is when he takes his team on the road. Here's the problem. We're in a lot of those games. We're within a score or two. In most of those games, it is the ineptness of offense on his side, which he's responsible for, that causes us to lose these games. But you start, man, because it is. The discrepancy's very eye-opening here over 43 ball games.
All right, Andy went back to 2015, so these numbers are kind of based on that. I do want to throw this out before I get started. Why in the world, if you're the head coach and the offensive coordinator, would you want to change the offense that you put out there in 13 and 14? Can you answer me that before I get started, Brett? Because I'm going to run down numbers.
Why doesn't a member of the media just generally, now he's not going to give you a straight answer because he don't answer most questions, but why doesn't a member of the media just calmly look at Gus Malzahn and say, Coach, why are you trying to be something that doesn't work? Why don't you look back and see that the best form of your offense is where you got a guy back there that's a true dual threat that can run the football? Why are you fighting that? Why are you wanting to be more like the Tulsa days that you were the offensive coordinator at Tulsa? Can you explain it? Is it just a concept that you would just rather lose trying to be like that than win being like this? At some point in time, you just have to be realistic about it, man.
And he looks like a complete offensive genius in 13, 14, and 2010. I mean, he's putting up numbers.
Where's the team that played Purdue?
Well, that's a terrible football team.
It's
hard to. But he gets in rhythm. He'll get in a rhythm from time to time, and he'll play even against good teams. But, Brett, here's some stats, and Andy did a great job right here, so he makes it sound like we know what we're talking about. We have played 43 games since 2015 against Power 5 competition. This is not counting the bowl games.
That's right.
So since 2015, 43 games. By the way, we're 24 and 19 in those 43 games.
If you added those bowl games in there, it'd be worse. 24
and 19. All right, when we get 350-plus yards per game, we're 18 and 6. Okay? When we get 315 total yards or less, we are 5 and 14 in those matchups. And I want to run down some of these games and some of these abysmal totals that we've gotten offensively with a head coach that was brought in and brought here, and the very first interview he said, we're going to play fast, we're going to play tempo, we're going to play upbeat offense. And we did that. Man, did we do that in 13 and 14. We had a program that Andy did a great job just saying, please, give me a top 40 defense at Auburn University, and there's no telling how many titles this genius on the offensive side could win. And now that we've gotten that, somehow we've changed our identity on the offensive side of the ball. Going back to 2015, which was, gosh, what happened then? You know, it goes back to our quarterback development days and trying to build a passing game in. I guess trying to prove that you can do something different.
He just can't do it.
I don't have any confidence in. All right, LSU game that year. 260 total yards of offense, 21 points. Georgia in 15, 275 total yards of offense, 13 points. 15, Alabama, 261 total yards, 13 points. Going to 16, bring in a new quarterback, a lot of the same stuff. 16, 262 total yards, 13 points against Clemson. And 16 versus Georgia, 164 total yards, 7 points. Against Alabama, both of those on the road, by the way, 182 total yards, 6 points. Going into 17, where we had a good season, but we go on the road against Clemson. I don't even know how to explain
12
this.
sacks.
117 total yards, 7
sacks.
points there. Want me to keep going down some of these, Brett?
No, let me add one thing in there for you. Out of those 14 losses right there, 10 of them were on the road. 10 of those 14 losses where you had less than 350 yards were on the road. 2 of those, add 2 more, so 12 now of those 19 total games were either on the road or at a neutral site. So the problem is, and yes, we do. You remember the discussion in 17? Everybody was like, man, we're a different animal than Jordan Hare. Man, it's hard to win. It's hard to lose in there. You know, we get them in there, we're going to win. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Auburn didn't beat Georgia and Alabama this year at home. I really wouldn't. I'm not sitting up here saying they are. I'm not going to be shocked if they do, though, because we are a totally different football team. A lot of teams are at home, but Auburn especially. It is like, it's not even the same team almost when we play inside Jordan Hare versus going on the road. His road preparation reminds me of teams in the SEC in basketball. You just kind of hope you go on the road and still a game every once in a while.
Is that because of poor communication and change up of formations and change up of personnel?
Too
and
much substitute.
All the moving parts that go on out there?
Too much substitute, first of all. Wes Coleman, he put that comment on here yesterday. We are substituting. He took the words out of my mouth. What is the deal with all this substituting? And here's the problem with his offense in all of our eyes, and again, this is just our opinion. Okay, ain't any gospel to this. This is just what we see and kind of analyze. There is no catching a team off guard. We are the most predictable the most predictable offense that you can have. And why you don't play your personnel makes no sense to me. We've laughed about this for 5 years. Man, somebody goes missing. Somebody goes witness protection program. You know, 3 or 4 games will go by after somebody has a SEC Player of the Week performance, and then you don't hear from it. Why? Alabama does a great job every single Saturday of ensuring Jalen Waddle gets the ball a minimum of 5 to 6 times a game. You know why? Because no matter what they're doing offensively, they know Jalen Waddle is a game breaker. Every time he touches the ball, there's a potential him going the distance wherever he is on the field. Well, Anthony Schwartz can't go the distance if he only touches it 2 times. And how many times did we have to hear in a press conference that, man, I probably messed that up. I probably should have gotten the ball in so-and-so's hands more. He goes right back the next week and does the same thing again. You got any answers?
No, I have no answers. I do think that Andy said a mouthful right here. We put up huge numbers against teams that were a lot better. When we play teams that are better than we are, we average 17.8 points per game and 262.4 yards per game in games in those 19 games that we've lost right now.
Up against the break, stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
The Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales in Opelika has the largest selection of prestige cars, trucks, and SUVs in Central and East Alabama, all with financing available, little to no money down, and extended warranties. Get pre-qualified in under 2 minutes, online or from your mobile device at GillsPrestigeOnline.com. It's the Prestige Selection at Gill's Auto Sales, 1430 Gateway Drive in Opelika.
Lake Martin Building Supply, located on Dayville Road in Alexander City, owners Tiffany and Michael Huff believe in constantly improving their inventory for you. From deer corn, feeders, to Valspar paint, to top quality lumber, and RV section, Lake Martin Building Supply welcomes each customer that comes through the door with a warm hello and a pleasant goodbye, and a come back to see us real soon. That's Lake Martin Building Supply, Dable Road. Call today, 256-234-5500.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
From the smallest drippy faucet to drain cleaning to water heater replacement to gas lines to total systems replacement, A&M Plumbing handles it all. Visit amplumbing.net today for the experienced, licensed, and insured pros at A&M Plumbing.
A&M Plumbing, A&M Plumbing, service at its best when you need it most.
Finding a job might be tough, but starting your new career has never been easier. Wellborn Cabinet in Ashland has a wide array of career opportunities with benefits. General labor production, skilled cabinet builders, product assembly line, shipping, over-the-road truck drivers, clerical, marketing, security, daycare, office clerks, and so much more. Apply in person, 38669 Highway 77 South in Ashland, or online at wellborn.com. Building cabinets, building careers, and building our community.
Alex City Marines, located on Cherokee Road in Alexander City, and the Yerkes invite you by to see what they have available today. The 2020 Manitous and Landaus are in, and boy, are they gorgeous. Also, some great deals on demos. Take advantage of that while they last. Alex City Marine also is doing shrink wrapping, storage. Get in line now. In fact, call this number, 256-215-FISH. Alex City Marine, Alex City.
Headley Towers is an affordable senior citizen community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East, where spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living, where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more about Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552, where your family at Headley Towers. That's 256-329-0552.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Score big with these deals at Bice Motors in Alex City. Up to 27% off on select 2019 Ram trucks. During Jeep Adventure Days, lease a new 2019 Jeep Compass Latitude for $209 a month. Save over $8,000 on a new 2019 Jeep Grand Cherokee Altitude.
We guarantee the lowest price, and we'll pay you the difference in price twice.
Make your scoring drive to Bice Motors in Alex City.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Let's get to some comments here, and then we'll dive back into some of this stuff we're talking about. Randy Joe Hendon said, I think Gus needs to get an OC that can coach up QBs, and he needs to get a better offensive line. I definitely think there's some issues here with this offensive line that we knew going into the season that we would hope would get better and better. They hadn't gotten better and better. They hadn't gotten worse. They hadn't gotten any better. So they just are who they are up front as five seniors. And none of them are like big time, any shot at really going to the NFL. Prince Tega had some preseason hype. He ain't really shown me much about being a dominant left tackle. Too many false start penalties, too many mistakes on the road just exacerbates the problem. And that's where you come from. And I give Gus Malzahn a little bit of this and Bo Nix a little bit of this. When you're behind the chains that much, when you're 3rd and 12, 3rd and 15, because you false starting and you doing stuff and losing yard, man, that's hard at home against a cream puff to convert those third downs.
Well, I know you get upset with a player that makes a mental mistake or an effort mistake, but I had a problem with Saturday. When you have false starts and you have all of the things that seem to continue to go wrong on the road, when you've got a hostile environment with a true freshman quarterback that you saw was a glaring issue at Florida, I have a problem with Gus Malzahn just berating players coming off the field and berating them during timeouts when you're the darn offensive coordinator. You're the guy that went out there and recruited all these guys.
You need to pull the mirror out.
This is not his first year, Brett. Every one of those seniors he recruited. Every single last one of them. And this is his system. He's gone on ahead and thrown all the darts that any Auburn fan's going to accept on the offensive side of the ball. Now it's just a finger pointed directly back at him. And when you get that many issues on the road and you barely lose 23-20 to the number 2 ranked team in the country.
And you even to add more to this defensive performance.
Yeah.
We played an entire quarter basically inside our own 30-yard line. They had the ball 3 times. We turned them over twice, and then what do? We stopped them one time on a goal line. But man, we played. They asked us to play. That game could have been a blowout.
Of course.
But our defense gave up yards, like you said, but was asked to continue to keep playing from inside its own 30-yard line and didn't give up any points.
Well, help me out here. Was it midway through the fourth where we'd had 1 first down in the second half?
That's right.
And that's the first play?
That's right.
Now, I do think that we got a first down on a penalty. So maybe we had 2 first downs midway through the fourth.
And then all of a sudden when the game's on the line, let's open it up and we'll move the ball right down the field and score. Does that ever make – and I know
it feels like Texas A&M last year at home.
It does. Where did that come from? Was it partly because LSU got a little bit soft on defense and let us move the ball down the field? I'm sure it probably did. But, man, we went right down the field, and I threw butter and scored, had a chance to kick an onside kick. Almost got the thing. Let
me jump in. Do you have another comment that you want to hit on?
Yeah, I'll add Stevens in here, a couple more real quick. Serenity now for me. Listening and eating my popcorn, absolutely not on this Gus bus. Defense needs a complementary offense to win games. AU should have beat Florida and LSU with that combination. Stevens says after watching the game again, Gus should have went on a rant about the officials because even though the offense struggled and the play calling was bad, still should have won with 20 points. Every time LSU scored or got a first down, it was an obvious holding penalty. We ain't talked about that part.
That's where I was going.
Okay, well, I'm going to let you take it then.
I wonder, even watching high school ball and calling games and broadcasting with you, I've said this twice this year, and I don't remember if you remember me saying this during games, but it almost feels like that there's been so many holding penalties called over the last, say, 5 years that they've made a decision, that it has been communicated to the officials that we're not going to slow the football game down as much as we once did by calling a lot of holding penalties. High school games, we've gone through some high school games where it's impossible. You could call holding on every play, but some of them are muggings.
There's a difference.
And when you have a clear mugging and you don't call it, you're just you're changing the game. The game's no longer played like it's coached.
That's exactly right.
You know, when you are able to hold a defensive tackle and a defensive end and keep them from making plays, i.e., the play on the right tackle for LSU as we're coming off the edge and that we get completely spinned around and we have a touchdown pass into the right corner, that play doesn't happen.
That doesn't
without the hold.
That's exactly right.
So you totally change the game.
You do.
Based off of some calls like this. I wonder if the officials and those of you that may be involved, I wonder if there's a set number where they're going, look, we do not want you to call more than 3 or 4 holding penalties in a game.
I just don't know how you can do that.
I don't either. If someone's clearly holding, the only way that you're going to get, and I don't want to sound like.
For the 5 or 6 screenshots that have made it all over social media, for none of those 5 or 6 to be called is a joke.
And here's the reality, and here's the truth to this. There weren't a lot called on Auburn either. Here's where I'm fine with it. If you happen to have one of the best defensive lines.
We weren't out there long enough to hold.
If you happen to have one of the best defensive lines that we've ever had in school history, those are games where you really need the holding penalty to be in play. I'm fine with them throwing them on Auburn. Yeah. Throw some.
If we're holding and
of course.
I told somebody this week, I said, man, if we had to win by mugging somebody, then I don't want to win that way. I mean, I'm serious. People are like, man, he's up there talking crap. I really don't. If we got screenshot after screenshot of somebody horse collaring somebody or clotheslining somebody or dragging them down or 2 guys bear hugging a defensive tackle like they did Derek Brown numerous times and not get it called, if that's what it takes to win, then we really weren't as good as that other team.
Well, and let me throw this out there. If you want to throw a little bit more shade on how bad this offense was, imagine if holding penalties were being called like they once were. because you don't get them called anymore.
Yeah.
You know, when did the first holding penalty against LSU was late? What, a few minutes left in the ball game?
Yeah, and it benefited them because it gave them an extra snap and they ran the clock out.
So if you wait that late, I
that
would
was
like
a slap in the face, man.
Here's
That
a
was a
stat
slap in
tiger
the
or
face.
someone like that, Andy Graham, hopefully can do a little research on this. I would be very interested to see how many holding penalties were called 10 years ago in comparison to today. And then you will see a direct correlation between what the officials are being told or not. In my book, especially on Friday night where I broadcast games, and I'm supposed to call color, and I'm supposed to say what I see different than I did the previous years, I clearly see a lack of holding penalties called ever. Yeah. And it almost feels like it's a communication that's going on out there. It's fine. I'm not knocking the officials. If that's where we're wanting to take this game, then you need to know.
You need to change how you allow
That's
guys
right.
to block.
That's right.
Up against another break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Hi, I'm Kurt Bowman, General Manager of Vaden Toyota. We'd like to announce our new lifetime warranty on any new Toyota.
Hashtag lifetime warranty. Hashtag we love our customers.
It can be used nationwide at no additional cost.
Hashtag customer service.
So come on by and let us show you
The Vaden way.
Hashtag maintenance matters.
Hashtag totally awesome.
Vaden Toyota of Sylacauga, just a short drive from home or online.
Hashtag your neighborhood dealership.
Cater your tailgate and game day parties with Chicken Salad Chick. All the Chick favorites like Buffalo Barkley, Kickin' Kaylin, and Sassy Scotty make the perfect dips and sandwich platters. Chicken Salad Chick is always a great choice when planning for a crowd. Our grab-and-go quick chicks make it easy. And now for a limited time, Rockin' Rita is back. Made with Wickles spicy red relish, this flavor has a kick of spice. Chicken Salad Chick and fall football, the perfect matchup.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
You already know the power and reliability of a Mahindra tractor. Get ready to meet their ATV and UTV lines. Haul more and tow more. Do more. Reaching speeds up to 60 miles an hour. Models have a 12-inch ground clearance and the ability to haul up to 1,200 pounds. There's a Mahindra utility vehicle and a model specifically to get the job done. Test drive today at Lake Martin Tractor and Outdoor. Serving Tallapoosa, Coosa, Clay, and Talladega counties. 256-392-3613.
Expect it or not, the loss of a loved one is difficult. Put your family first by planning ahead. This is Joseph Dean, new owner of Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers. We are a full-service funeral home with an on-site crematory and cemetery. Whether your need is immediate or you would like to plan in advance, our experienced, compassionate staff can assist you in designing an enduring memorial experience, burial, or cremation. Alabama Funeral Homes and Cremation Centers on Highway 280 in Camp Hill or online, alabamafuneralhomes.com.
Harbor Point Ship Store has everything to make your day on the lake more enjoyable. Come on out to the biggest marina on the water. They have pizza, hot dogs, burgers, and more. Get your gas, groceries, snacks, ice, and everything you need for a fun day on the lake. Are you in the market for a new or pre-owned boat? Harbor Point has the best selection around of everyone's favorite Crest pontoons and Four Winds boats. Harbor Point also has a great selection of pre-owned boats. Come on out and take a look at Harbor Point, Marina Point Road in Dadeville. Get to the point.
Tires are important, and when getting a great price on tires, you want to get it right. So make the short drive to Wright's Tire in Sylacauga. Wright's Tire can get you any make or model of tire, and they make the drive worth it with volume pricing. Whether North Tallapoosa, South Talladega, or Coosa County, make the right choice, the right selection, the right service, and the right price. All at Wright's Tire on Fort William Street in Sylacauga. Call for a free quote, 256-245-7778, and get the right price on tires.
Ladies and gentlemen, Kia of Auburn. Kia of Auburn on South College. New Kias at 0% APR financing and no payments for 90 days. Kia of Auburn. Kia of
This is Coach Pat Dye. And at Kia of Auburn, you are always number one.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Auburn Blitz. Some other comments coming in. Brandon said, why can't Bo Nix at least split time at QB with Gatewood? It's like Gus is saying, if we can't win with a true freshman, then we can't win. It's not Nix's fault. He's just playing like a true freshman in the SEC. It's the coach's job to put him in the best position to win, even if that means passing 5 times and rushing 70 a game. It don't matter.
No, I don't think that being the true freshman, honestly, it may have a little bit to do with it, but I think it's scheme, it's concept.
I think it's solely on the back of the coach.
Well, understand, Jarrett Stidham last year, after 2017, high expectations, played so well in the preseason, the NFL decided that he's going to be the backup for Tom Brady. That's what kind of talent this guy had. And he had 13 passing touchdowns and 9 interceptions at the end of the regular season
about
last
the most
year.
pedestrian numbers you can have.
I believe that it's Malzahn. I believe it's system. I believe it's concept. I'm not throwing any shade. I'm not knocking Bo Nix at all right now.
Well, that guy came out again, that critic from last year.
Yeah, I heard that.
And he's come back out again. He said Auburn has the best team in the country if it weren't for Malzahn. He said this is by far, in his opinion, this is 2 years in a row now, the worst offense that he's ever watched.
From a concept standpoint.
That's right. That's what he's talking about.
And it wouldn't have to be if his identity went back to being what we were in 13 and 14. You don't have to have a dynamic passing game and a dynamic system when you have a mobile quarterback that's rushing 12 times for 90-something yards and a touchdown or 2. Changes the whole game. Then you're closing in on 250 to 300 yards rushing because your quarterback's getting 75 to 100 of them.
Steven said, I think Coach O just said, hey, the refs aren't calling it, keep holding. That's what a good coach does. If you sit there and analyze and like, look, man, we can't block them regularly.
Yeah, agree.
If you got to hold. And if they call it, so be it. We're going to force them to make the calls. They didn't make the calls. This officiating is so atrocious. This ain't just the Auburn-LSU game. It's a game every week somewhere that somebody in this conference is getting hosed. South Carolina 2 weeks ago against Florida, hosed. Completely hosed, man. There were 2 calls in that game as equally big as the 2 touchdowns that LSU scored, Randy, that swung that game in Florida's favor on the road. The quarterback draw for Joe Burrow was a blatant hold. He ran right off of it. You go back and watch the film. You tell me if you don't think that's a hold. If you don't, so be it. The hold on T.D. Moultrie on the right end, that play doesn't happen if he doesn't get tackled over there. So that's 2 plays where you make a call. It's a massive impact on the result of the game. You got to make those calls, man.
Love to see the stats on the separation and holding penalties 10, 20 years ago in comparison to today. I think that stat can be found out there, and I think you'll see a direct correlation, and there's got to be a communication that's going on. Here's where I wanted to spin this just real quickly, though, just to give a little bit more thought around Gus Malzahn and what he's doing at Auburn right now. You know, first and foremost, Malzahn had a great start to his career, but now he's 59 and 29, 31 and 22 in the SEC. He's won an SEC championship, played for a national championship, and played for another SEC championship. He is the only coach in all the history of Auburn football to not have a losing record in any of his first 6 seasons. That will be 7 when this season is over. He, Pat Dye, and Terry Bowden are the only Auburn coaches to have 2 10-win seasons in their first 6 years. He has recruited at a high level year after year. Malzahn, under the best of circumstances, has an extraordinarily difficult job. As head coach, he has faced 8 teams ranked number 1. That's more than predecessors Gene Chizik, Tommy Tuberville, Terry Bowden, and Pat Dye combined. He's faced 4 teams ranked number 2. That's from Philip Marshall. Good points. And you have to kind of put the context together. It goes back to what I said Scott Hardy had a really good segment before the season started on what are your expectations. Are your expectations that if Auburn finishes 8-4, you're not happy and you're wanting someone else? Then you look at what Philip Marshall said right here and you go, hey, let's tap the brakes a little bit.
But you know I like Coach Tuberville as well as anybody.
Yep.
But the reason Coach Tuberville got a pass during all those years, and now I'd like to see the number of 9 and 10-plus win seasons. Tommy Tuberville's probably got that one out of all of them, maybe with the exception of Pat Dye. But Coach Tuberville was always lost one game a year. Everybody went, why in the world? But he was the best big game football coach we've had in a long time. If we're playing a top 5 or 10 team, man, it didn't matter if it was on the road, neutral side, or at home. And also, it didn't hurt that he beat Alabama 6 years in a row. So when he's doing all that, he's beating Tim Tebow, he's beating Florida, he's beating, I mean, you know, you're beating these kind of players and you're beating these kind of teams, and you overlook the crap the bed against Arkansas at 11 o'clock in the morning at Jordan-Hare. You know, when Fred Talley runs for about 200 yards, you go, man, I don't make any sense, but we're going to be all right. You know, that's kind of the deal. You know, you overlook the Ole Miss game where Eli Manning comes in there and you drop a pass in the end zone. You should have beat them anyway. But you come back next week and you beat Alabama at home when Cadillac runs down the sideline on the opening play, and you kind of forget all about the Ole Miss game. That's what helped Coach Tuberville. For Malzahn, it's like the things that he does is just so glaring, and his inability to be competitive in some of these bigger games against Alabama and Georgia, and the way we've gone on the road and been so bad on the road, that's why it feels different. I agree with what Philip Marshall says. You can't argue with him on that. He's got good points, but it's just the way you're doing it. That's what Andy said yesterday that really kind of made me stop and think. It's not the loss, it's the way you lost. It's the way you went out there and laid another egg. It's the Mississippi State game last year when you should have went on the road and beat Nick Fitzgerald. It's all they could do was run the football. Everybody knew that was all the only weapon they had, and you went over there and you were inept on offense. You could not execute, and you don't win that game. It's coming back home the next week to Tennessee and losing at 11 o'clock to a team that ain't won a conference game in 2 years. That's the things that make you so upset.
So I'll present this to you, and I'll present this to those that are tuning in out there. Are you happy? I mean, are you ready to cut ties? Have you had enough? Is 8-4 good enough? If we lose the two games that we're going to be...
Don't you think there's about 100 coaches out there and go 8-4 at Auburn with the talent we got?
I don't know. I think it can be worse. I do. I think it can be worse.
Okay. Maybe it can. Up against our final break. Stay tuned. More of the Auburn Blitz right after this.
Mortgage Pro is the new standard for mortgage loans. While other banks are taking 45 to 60 days to close a loan, Mortgage Pro is making it happen in less than 15 days. Your mortgage loan goes from start to finish in less than 15 days. Mortgage Pro is able to make this happen by having the most advanced technology and a highly trained staff with over 98 years combined experience. If you're looking to buy a home or refinance your current mortgage, call Mortgage Pro and let our team go to work for you.
So, you may not know it, but you've seen our work everywhere. For a combined 50 years, SignSource has been Central Alabama's premier option for all your sign needs. Custom signs for your business, club, or organization, wraps and decals for your vehicle or boat, full-color banners for your big sale, or a photo collage on canvas for grandma. All with fast, friendly, prompt service. Check out our website at signsourcenow.com. 888-533-6758. Go straight to the source. SignSource.
WOTM, your new TV home for high school sports in Alabama. This Thursday on WOTM, catch the AHSAA High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Ox Foundations. This week's matchup will feature the Pickens County Tornadoes versus the Gordo Green Wave. Stay with WOTM all 4 weeks of the playoffs. WOTM, the new home of AHSAA Super 7, live from Jordan-Hare.
I am Lisa McClendon from Country Financial, and I have spent years in our community helping people protect their homes, cars, and lives. I am proud to be a member of the 2018 National Championship Team and a National Advisory Council member for Country Financial. Complete financial security does not end with just insurance. I am also here to help you plan for your financial future.
Together, we can help you set up a step-by-step plan to reach financial security. Let's talk soon.
Cater your tailgate and game day parties with Chicken Salad Chick. All the Chick favorites like Buffalo Barkley, Kickin' Kaylin, and Sassy Scotty make the perfect dips and sandwich platters. Chicken Salad Chick is always a great choice when planning for a crowd. Our grab-and-go quick chicks make it easy. And now for a limited time, Rockin' Rita is back. Made with Wickles spicy red relish, this flavor has a kick of spice. Chicken Salad Chick and fall football, the perfect matchup.
LMG Advertising Agency offers a comprehensive marketing solution tailored to each of our clients' needs. We are a full-service marketing firm offering website design and development, video production, social media marketing, search engine optimization, and overall branding that includes logo design, brochures, mailouts, and more. Our experienced team of marketing professionals would love to come up with a marketing strategy that will deliver results for you and your business. Learn more at lmgadagency.com or call today to start at 256-825-0197.
Find everything you need for the perfect outdoor living space at Russell Do-It Center, like the Fire Rock Outdoor Conventional Fireplace, smartly designed masonry systems that are easy to install and are less than half the cost of a scratch-built brick and mortar fireplace. Weber Grills, the best outdoor gas, electric, and charcoal grills, which always come pre-assembled. Yeti Coolers, premium coolers and accessories that are the ultimate in design, performance, and durability. Russell Do-It Center, experience and knowledge from the pros.
Welcome back, everyone. Final segment here on the Auburn Blitz. A couple more quotes coming in, or comments. There's a quote I'll get to here in just a minute. Justin Mosley said, in fairness, there were a few more coaches beating Alabama those years when we were talking about Tuberville. You're right. That's kind of not what I was saying, though. I'm just saying that Auburn fans, basically, even though Alabama was struggling, it was still a win over Alabama.
Yeah.
So it didn't matter, so it was. But you're right, Alabama was going through a lot of struggles. Justin Clayton said, did y'all comment on the quote today? And I did watch a little bit of Gus Malzahn's press conference as I came in this afternoon. It said, Auburn head coach Gus Malzahn, when asked about QB Bo Nix's lack of runs versus LSU. Anytime our quarterback is a runner, it opens up things. If that opportunity presents itself, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, it can really open up things. I mean, if you can decipher what that meant, you're better than I am. I'm just telling you that if I were in the press conference and I asked that question, they would have to escort me out, because I just have to go in and say, H, that's what I ask. I mean, and you hadn't given me, what are you doing? I mean, it is Halloween. He can dress up like the Riddler. I mean, I guess that may be his favorite cartoon, superhero, whatever, because he never answers the question. The guy asked him about the lack of runs, and he said maybe they're there, sometimes they are, sometimes they ain't. When they run it, it's pretty good. I mean, it leaves you, they're so dumbfounded, they don't even know how to respond to that. Just move on.
Move to the next question.
Move on.
Which the crazy part of a lot of his press conferences are him going up there and saying exactly what the fan base is thinking and giving you the answer.
Oh, yeah.
And then being like, well, okay, well, yeah, that's what we ask, and why is that not happening?
He opens up every answer with
It's like Anthony Schwartz.
Yeah.
He touched the football one time against Florida. So he goes to the press conference following the game and said, that's probably a pretty bad job by me by only getting the football into his hands one time. So then we go on the road the next time. Now, we just heard that. How many times 5 touched it on Saturday? 3 times. 33 yards. But only 3 times that we get it to him. And then I guess you're going to go to the press conference again and go, well, I probably messed up. 5 needs the football in his hands a little bit more. And then you're going, no kidding.
You said it 2 weeks ago. I mean, Gary Danielson said it during the broadcast. He said, once again, Anthony Schwartz is a non-factor in another Auburn game. Look, man, you're not even trying to get him the ball to make plays when you're only giving it to him 3 times. I don't care what the defense is presenting. I'm not some kind of I don't know anything about how a defense lines up as far as what they take away and what they don't. But I know that Anthony Schwartz is the fastest guy in the country. Even if they've got a safety high, he can run by him. And can you just not throw it up to him? At least try it a couple times. When's the last time we did that to Anthony Schwartz on a post over the middle?
Not a post over the middle.
Put you a safety back here in the middle of the field. Good luck to you, buddy. Good luck to you. Steven said the problem with Gus is he has the talent to win a national championship. If he was going 8-5 at Arkansas, great job, but that's not good enough when you're a top 10 recruiting class every year. That's the problem. You know, you said earlier in the show, talking about the Scott rant, about teams that are finishing ahead of you. You and I have been through this. 1, there's a separation from 1 and 2. But from 2 to 13, there wasn't much. There ain't a dime's difference in the players. Not a dime's difference. So that means you're in competition. Well, there's 4 teams that go to the playoffs every year, by the way. Not 1. There's 4. We ain't been to 1 yet.
You think LSU had more NFL players on their roster on Saturday than Auburn did?
No, I don't think so.
I don't either.
Especially on defense.
No.
Let me tell you something. There should be a 3-game winning streak for Auburn right now over LSU. 2 years ago, down in Baton Rouge, we're up 20. Lose. Okay? Lose. Go in the tank. Lose. Why? Because the offense was shut down. Gus decided to quit doing what he did in the first half with what Jarrett Stidham was doing, throwing the football and keeping them off balance. Last year, I was bored. I'm sitting in the stands. It's 21-10. LSU ain't even threatened. I'm like, man, everybody's sitting around me talking. I'm like, are we at the LSU game? This don't even feel right. All of a sudden, they hit a pass over the middle. It's 21-17. You know, all of a sudden, you know, it's just, and then it just kind of builds from there. And then what do you get? A loss on the last second field goal. I mean, that's what you're dealing with Gus Malzahn. It's the lack of execution and taking advantage of opportunity.
Would you have ever believed 3 years ago that we'd be sitting here and Ed Orgeron would be coaching as well as he is?
Did you think Ed Orgeron would be 3-0 against Auburn?
Not just against Auburn. Everybody but Alabama. He's coaching well, Brett.
Yes, he is.
Would you have ever believed that?
And he's got a chance to finally get over the hump next Saturday in Tuscaloosa. It's going to be a tall task. Alabama's still really good. But this is the most vulnerable Alabama team he will have played.
Oh, he better. If he doesn't take advantage of this Alabama defense this year, then he's in trouble. I mean, he's in trouble as far as the matchup with Nick Saban. Now, we don't know how long Nick Saban's going to be there, but the difference between Alabama's defense and Auburn.
If they lose this game, Randy, and they go on and win out, and Alabama moves on through and they win and go to the
they'll both be in the playoffs.
They'll both make it.
Oh, yeah.
So the loser of this game, there's really no ramifications.
No. It's even more. This is even better, a better setup than 2011. Much better, because only 2 teams had a chance then.
And they'll have the shot. And now with Oklahoma losing, some of these other teams looking bad, they'll have a shot to get in.
Yeah, of course. They'll have better than a shot. If both of those teams get through with only 1 loss, they're in.
I mean, I think everybody feels that way.
Yeah,
I mean,
because I think they're.
Are there 2 better teams? Is there anybody else better than those 2 teams in the country right now?
No.
Nobody.
And they're definitely not 4 teams better. You know, there's definitely not 2 other teams better than they are. Yeah. Let's put it that way. They're definitely 2 top 4 teams.
I got to ask you this question before we get off, because it's only our day here on the show. Georgia, Florida this weekend.
Yeah.
Who you got in that game?
Florida. I have no confidence in Georgia.
Favored by 6 points.
I have no confidence in Georgia's offense.
Where's that coming from?
And the issue with Georgia's offense is sometimes when you start tanking, finding it again is hard.
You know, right now, Jake Fromm, he
doesn't have it. And he looks
Justin
confused.
Fields does.
Justin Fields at Ohio State looks to be the best team in the country.
That makes this Jake Fromm thing look even worse for Kirby Smart.
Yeah, Ohio State's got a defense too, and they.
Who's the 4th team, Clemson?
Yeah, right now, and it could be someone else, but yeah.
Yeah, well, that's the joker. That's not really kind of what I was going.